Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma, Rabbi zidni hilma, Rabbi zidni amala, Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair wa bika nasta'in. Ya Fattahu, Ya Fattahu, Ya Fattah. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim alayhi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to everyone, and welcome to our day 2 story time and Jewels to Jannah, inshallah. Is everyone excited to hear a new story today? Inshallah. So as you can see, all of you, that inshallah today we will be doing the story of Musa alayhi salam, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, first of all, it is a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are here learning the knowledge of deen. So it is only due to the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because on the day of judgment we would be able to present this time that, oh Allah, we made time to learn your deen, we made time to learn your religion. And all the time that we spend in other things that is not very useful, we won't be able to present it. But the time that we spend learning the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, we would be able to present it. And as you always are aware that in Ramadan, any deed that we do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us so much more reward than outside of Ramadan. So for example, if we are to learn something outside of Ramadan in any other month other than Ramadan, we do get the reward, but when we do it in the month of Ramadan, the reward is immense. So alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, we should all be very grateful that we are here and learning the knowledge of deen. So inshallah, we'll start off with the story of Musa alayhi salam. Can anyone tell me who Musa alayhi salam was? Let's see. I know people are still joining, inshallah, mashallah. I see both on YouTube and Start Meeting. We have lots of people that are joining, alhamdulillah, inshallah. Yes, so I got one answer that he is a Nabi of Allah, and another answer that he has a book, Torah. So exactly, alhamdulillah, mashallah, great answers. So Musa alayhi salam was a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And can anyone tell me which country did Musa alayhi salam live? Which country was he from? Can anyone tell me which country Musa alayhi salam was born in? Let's see who knows this answer. Egypt, Israel. Okay, the actual answer that he is Egypt, because he was born in the country called Egypt. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, barakallah fi. Yes, so Musa alayhi salam was born in Egypt. Can anyone tell me who used to rule, or who was the king of Egypt in the time of Musa alayhi salam? Who was the king of Egypt in the time of Musa alayhi salam? Hang on, I'm just going to, yes, Pharaoh, Fir'aun, mashallah. Everyone, mashallah, very intelligent children here, mashallah. Exactly. So the king at the time of Musa alayhi salam was Fir'aun, or in English we say Pharaoh. Exactly, mashallah. So the king in the time of Musa alayhi salam, mashallah. So we have Noman who said Fir'aun, and Hana Rahman said Pharaoh, and Sana said Fir'aun, Faryal said Fir'aun, Bia said Fir'aun. Mashallah, barakallah fi. Exactly. So Fir'aun was the king in the time of Musa alayhi salam. So what used to happen, you know how we have president of the country or prime minister of the country. So just like that, in Egypt, they used to have kings. And all of those kings were used to call Pharaoh. That was the title of the king, Pharaoh, or in Arabic, Fir'aun. And so the king in the time of Musa alayhi salam, or Pharaoh in the time of Musa alayhi salam, his family had been ruling over Egypt for hundreds of years. So before him, Fir'aun was his father, his dad, or the king was his dad. And before his dad, it was his grandfather. And then before his grandfather, great grandfather, and then so on and so forth. So his family used to rule Egypt for hundreds of years. So now Fir'aun, because of that, they were kings and they were treated like they are the kings of the country, and there was no one to dispute their kingship. So Fir'aun actually he was a very cruel king, and he had enslaved the people of Musa alayhi salam. Can anyone tell me what were the people of Musa alayhi salam called? So I just said people of Musa alayhi salam, but they had a special name by which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred to them in the Quran. Can anyone tell me what was the name of the people of Musa alayhi salam? MashaAllah. I got two people answering. More actually, Zahir, mashallah. So they are saying Banu Israel. Okay, now can anyone tell me what is the meaning of Israel, or why were they called Banu Israel? Does anyone know why were they called Banu Israel? Can anyone tell me what was the reason behind that title, behind that name, Banu Israel? Let's see who can tell that. People of Israel, yes, or actually the meaning of Banu is sons or children. So children of Israel. Okay, so we got that. The meaning of Banu Israel, children of Israel. Okay, yes, mashallah. So Zahir said that Israel was the title of Yaqub alayhi salam. Mashallah, barakallah fi. And we have another person, Mystery Gaming. I'm not sure what her name or his name is. But yes, mashallah, barakallah fi. So Israel was the title of Yaqub alayhi salam. And you know how Musa alayhi salam's title was Kalimullah, or even Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had different titles. So just like that, Yaqub alayhi salam had a title, and it was Israel. And because of that, because Musa alayhi salam and the people of Musa alayhi salam, they were from the children of Yaqub alayhi salam. So that's why they were called Banu Israel. So from now on, instead of saying people of Musa alayhi salam, I would say Banu Israel. And when I say Banu Israel, then I mean the people of Musa alayhi salam, because people of Musa alayhi salam were children of Yaqub alayhi salam. So Pharaoh, he enslaved Banu Israel. So what do slaves do? Can anyone tell me, what do slaves do? Do they have free will? Can they go anywhere they want to go? Can they buy whatever they want to do? What do the slaves do? Do they have to listen to their ruler, or do they have free will? Yes, exactly. Mashallah. Saima said, obey their owners. And Noman said, they do work for people and they have to listen to people. Exactly. So when we say that he had enslaved the people of Musa alayhi salam, so the Banu Israel, they had no free will. They had to follow the commandment of the king Pharaoh. So Pharaoh used them to build these big pyramids and castles. Were there cranes in that time in Egypt? Cranes or bulldozers or other heavy machinery? Did they have heavy machinery like that for construction? No. So poor slaves had to carry these rocks, and they have to break the rocks from the mountains and then bring it to the site of construction, and then they were building. Non-stop, they had to work. So they would get the food from the king, whatever food they wanted to give him, or whatever little bit of money they wanted to give him, and they would beat them up if they're not working properly. So they were living in a very poor condition. And Pharaoh liked it, right? He had all these slaves working free for him. He just had to maintain them a little bit so that they can keep on working for him, right? So he didn't have to pay thousands of gold coins to anyone. He kept all his money and he had all these people to work for him. Thousands and thousands of people. Was that something very nice that he was doing? Was it nice to enslave people and torture them and had them work for him? No, exactly. So he was very cruel, and then he claimed to be God. He said that I'm God and you worship me. So it wasn't a very good situation when Musa alayhi salam was born. Okay? Exactly. So it was not good at all. So now Pharaoh saw this dream, and in his dream, he saw that a fire will come from Baitul Maqdas and will enter their houses. And the fire will not enter the houses of Bani Israel. So what is the dream? That he saw in the dream that a fire is coming from Baitul Maqdas. Can anyone tell me what Baitul Maqdas is? Can anyone tell me? Does anyone know what Baitul Maqdas is? Let's see if I get any answer. Yes, I got one answer saying Masjid Aqsa. Masjid Aqsa, yes. So there was a masjid, not there was, actually there is a masjid in Jerusalem, and it's called Baitul Maqdas. And so he saw in his dream that a fire is coming from that direction, and it entered all the houses of people of Pharaoh. And people of Pharaoh were the original people who used to live in Egypt. So he saw that fire came and destroyed every one of his people. And then the people of Bani Israel, the houses of Bani Israel, the fire did not enter. Now Pharaoh woke up from his dream, and he was not sure what the meaning of that dream was. Can anyone tell me? What do you think? What is the meaning of that dream? The dream that Pharaoh saw. Yes, mashallah, Masjid al-Aqsa was the first Qibla. Mashallah, barakallah fi. Very good answers, mashallah. But can anyone tell me, what do you think is the meaning of that dream, the dream that Pharaoh saw? That someone is going to take him over. Okay, he will be destroyed. Someone will kill him and the non-believers. Alhamdulillah. Great answers. So let's see. So what Pharaoh did, he wasn't sure. He was confused what the meaning of that dream is. So he called all his people who could help him interpret this dream. And when they heard the dream, they said that the meaning of this dream is that a baby would be born, a baby boy will be born in Banu Israel, and that baby, when he will grow up, he will free the people of Bani Israel from the slavery of Pharaoh. Now, do you think Pharaoh was happy to hear that prophecy? That someone from amongst the slaves will rise up and free all those free slaves and take them away. Then he would have to pay for labor, right? Was he happy to hear that? That someone is going to rise up against him? No, exactly. Yes, so he wasn't happy at all. Now he asked his people, he gathered everyone who could advise him, all of his advisors. And then he said, what should I do? What can I do to stop this prophecy, to stop this from happening? So some of them said that, why don't you kill all of the baby boys that will be born in the family of Israel or amongst Banu Israel? And Pharaoh, he liked that idea because he was so mean and he was so arrogant. He did not feel that Bani Israel, they have feelings or they are people. He's planning to kill their babies. Isn't that really, really, really mean to do something very horrible to do to someone? No, right? Exactly. So it wasn't right at all. So it was very mean of him to think of that. Then they thought, or he thought, that if we kill all of the boys, then 30 years from now, all the young men that are working for me today, they will become old. Then we would need new slaves. But if we kill all of the baby boys, then who will work for me? Who will make these palaces? Who will make these pyramids? So then he had another idea. So one of the advisors said, why don't you kill baby boys 1 year and the next year you don't kill them? So now this is just like a game for him. Like he's not trying to stop the prophecy, right? Because he doesn't know maybe that baby boy would be born in the year when he was not killing the babies, right? So one entire year, whichever baby was born, he let them live. So he could have that prophecy could come from that baby, one of the baby who was born in that year. So it was just like a game for him. He actually maybe didn't really think that someone could overthrow him. So then he sent the order that go 1 year, you kill the babies, and the next year you don't. So now, can anyone tell me the name of the older brother of Musa alayhi salam? Does anyone know the name of the older brother of Musa alayhi salam? Let's see who can answer that. Yes, mashallah. We got 2 answers, 3, 4. Let's see here. Yes, we got Farooq Mirza and Noman Shahid and Shaheen. MashaAllah. So Prophet Harun alayhi salam. So the year Harun alayhi salam was born, that was the year when they were not killing the babies. So Harun alayhi salam was born. Next year, when Musa alayhi salam was born, that was the year they were killing the babies. So they were looking at every house, keeping a close watch, that if a boy is born, they would take the baby away and kill the baby in front of the baby's parents. How cruel was that? How cruel was that act? So that's what they were doing, and they were putting the people of Bani Israel in great suffering, in great sorrow. They were all very, very, very sad when they were going through this situation. So now Musa alayhi salam was born, and what his mother did, now she was afraid that what will happen to my baby. So what she did, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent an intuition to the mother of Musa alayhi salam. This strong feeling, this message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So she knew this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this message came to her in her heart that she should put her baby in a box or in a basket and put the baby into the river. Can anyone tell me what is the name of the river in Egypt? Can anyone tell me what is the name of the river in Egypt? I see someone already sent yes, mashallah. Let's see over here. Can anyone tell me what is the name of the river? Yes, we got two answer, Farooq, and and then Zahir, mashallah, lots of people, mashallah, lots of you, mashallah, barakallah fi. Yes, the Nile River. So the mother of Musa alayhi salam, she put the little baby Musa into a basket, and this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? That she got this message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and she was gonna do it. So she put the baby in the box, and she put holes in the box so the baby can get some air, and she put the baby in the river. She put that basket in the river. Now, is that an easy thing to do for a mother? Can you tell me what can happen to the baby? Even though the baby is in a box, but what can happen if the baby is left unattended? In a box, in the river, Allah knows where would the river take the baby. Yes, drown, die, yes, and that is not good. One person said the baby will cry. Yes, exactly. Yes, and the baby could die from starvation. We cannot do that, right? To babies, leave them like that unattended. But she got this message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save the baby. And it was, what was her other option? Can anyone tell me what was the other option if she had not listened to that message from Allah? What was the other option? Can anyone tell me? Yes, eaten by crocodiles. I see some great answers, mashallah. So can anyone tell me what was the other option if she had not listened to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yes, keep the baby, and then the police of Pharaoh would come and kill the baby. So she didn't have much choice. So she preferred to listen to the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So she put the baby in the safety of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now the baby is in the river, and as all of you said, good answers, that the baby could have been eaten by crocodiles, or the baby could drown or starve. And so all these things were in the mother's mind, but she put her faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's promises are true, right? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises something, of course, it happens. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, for example, Wallahu waliyul mu'minin, that Allah is the helper of believers. So if you're a true believer, the promise is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us. But we have to ask for his help, right? We have to truly believe in him and truly ask him for help when we are in need of his help. So that's what the mother of Musa alayhi salam did. She put the baby, and guess what happened? She put the baby in the basket, and she put the baby in the river Nile, and now the baby is going in the river Nile. So the sister of Musa alayhi salam, she started following the basket, or the box that Musa alayhi salam was in. So she's following and going on the banks, running on the banks of the river to see where the baby will go, what will happen to her baby brother. Okay, so yes, mashallah, many of you are saying Allah kept him safe. Definitely. So now look at this, what happens. So the basket, it was going into the river Nile, and the river Nile, it also went into the palace of Pharaoh. So there were branches of the river Nile. They had this one branch of the tree, of the river Nile, that would go into the palace. So now the basket, from the hukam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it went into that side of the river, and it got into the palace of Pharaoh. Now the slaves or the servants of Pharaoh, they saw the basket or the box, they picked up the box, and they brought the box to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh was sitting there with his wife, and they opened the box, and they saw this beautiful baby. Beautiful, beautiful baby. And now, as soon as they saw the baby, the wife of Pharaoh, she said, I want to keep the baby. This baby is so beautiful. I want to keep the baby. So can someone tell me, what did Pharaoh say to his wife? What did Pharaoh say to his wife? Can she keep the baby or not keep the baby? So she said, I want the baby to be our son. We will raise him as our own son. He said no. One person said, another said, kill him. He said, okay. Some people are saying, Farouk said, he said, okay. And Umayya said, yes. Yes, Alhamdulillah. Yes, exactly. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put love in the heart of the wife of Pharaoh and in the heart of Pharaoh for Musa alayhi salam, for baby Musa alayhi salam. So when they saw the baby, they both really liked the baby. They loved the baby. The baby was so adorable, so cute. So then she said, I want to keep the baby and raise the baby as our own. And Pharaoh agreed to it. Now the wife of Pharaoh, Asiya alayhi salam, she was very happy. And now baby Musa was hungry, and she wanted baby Musa wanted some milk. And so she said, the king's wife, or I should say the queen, said, find someone who can take care of the baby, who can feed the baby, because she was the queen. She wasn't going to do that. So now all the servants, they're searching for someone who can come and take care of the baby. And now the sister of Musa alayhi salam, she saw that the baby went into the palace. And now all these servants are coming out of the palace, and they're taking these women inside of the palace, and each woman is trying to feed the baby, nurse the baby, but baby Musa would not drink milk from anyone. And he was crying and crying. So when the sister of Musa alayhi salam saw this commotion, she's like, what is happening? What is happening here? So she asked someone, what is happening? So she was told that baby Musa alayhi salam is not drinking anyone's milk. So now the sister of Musa alayhi salam, she was so brave. She had this idea. She said, oh, if the baby of the king, because that's what they were calling baby Musa now, the baby of the king and the queen. So they were saying the baby of the king and the queen is not drinking anyone's milk, and we are looking for someone to feed him. So now she had an idea. So the sister of Musa alayhi salam, she went to the king and said that I know someone. She said, sorry, just 1 second. She said, so she said, can everyone hear me? Okay, Alhamdulillah. So she said, just give me 1 second. I just want to double check that everyone, just want to check the messages that everyone can hear me. We're almost at the end of the story. I'm just going to check that everyone can hear me. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So Musa alayhi salam's sister was very brave and she said that I know someone who can feed the baby. And then Pharaoh, when he heard that, he became alerted. He's like, why are you saying that you know someone who can take care of the baby? And then who can take care of the baby? So the sister was very smart and she was very brave. Right away, she said to the king, I know, because we are all your servants and we want the best for you. So the king was very happy then, and he was tired because baby Musa was crying so much. And then he said, okay, bring that woman. So the sister of Musa alayhi salam, she rushed home, she brought her mother, and her mother fed Musa alayhi salam, and Musa alayhi salam drank the milk from her mom, and he went to sleep. Now, Alhamdulillah, now the queen said to the mother, a mother of Musa alayhi salam, that now you have to stay with me into the palace and take care of the baby. You are hired. But she said, no, no, no. I'm not going to stay with you. I'm not going to stay in the palace because I have other children. So like usually no one says no to the king, right? Or the queen, because they were cruel king and queen, queens of that time. So no one says no usually. But since the mother of Musa alayhi salam believed in the help of Allah, she said no. She said, no, I cannot do that. I have to go home. I have other children. So then the queen agreed that the mother of Musa alayhi salam can take the baby with her to her house, feed the baby, and send the baby back to the palace. So subhanallah, Musa alayhi salam was raised as the son of the king and the queen. Subhanallah. Here, Pharaoh was trying to kill the baby who was going to overthrow him. And then with the will of Allah, he was the one to raise him as his own son. Isn't that amazing? Subhanallah. So can anyone tell me what is the moral of the story? Can anyone tell me what did you learn from this story? Can anyone tell me? Okay, mashallah. I see some good answers. Yes, Allah, believe in Allah, trust in Allah. Allah is always there. Mashallah. If you believe in Allah, good things will happen. MashaAllah, believe and trust in Allah. Subhanallah. MashaAllah, such great answers. MashaAllah. Exactly. Believe and trust in Allah. Subhanallah. This is what we are supposed to do when we face any difficulty. Again, we learned that from the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam last week as well, that we put our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we are in any problem, big or small, even remember I was saying last week, even if your siblings are bothering you, teasing you, or someone in the school, anything, any problem you face, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, if you counsel or you talk to your parents, you talk to your teachers, principals, whatever action you need to take, you take that action. But at the same time, always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. So we did this dua last time too, and I'm reviewing it with you, that this dua, hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil, that when we face any problems, big or small, we recite this dua, hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil, that Allah is sufficient for me, for us, and He is the best of disposer of affairs, that He's the one who does everything the best way. Okay, and if we put our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes. And this kind of concludes our story. I just want to share one more ayah, one more verse of the Quran, that in our life, if we face any difficulty, any problem, then we have to just really believe that it is the best thing for me, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves me more than my own mother. He loves me the most, so He always wants the best for me. But the key thing is that we put our faith in Allah, we ask for His help. Okay, mashallah. Saima said, trust Allah. Mashallah. Noman had a very good suggestion. Mashallah. So, mashallah, barakallah fi. Great answers, mashallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you beautiful children, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you in every situation, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide you to the straight path, and always keep you on the straight path, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect your iman. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah, your other teacher, inshallah, she's coming. She will be joining you, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Inshallah, just we are waiting for the sister, for your teacher, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair to your first teacher, everybody. Alhamdulillah, say Jazakallah khair to your first teacher, inshallah. And inshallah, now it is time, alhamdulillah, for us to begin our second session, inshallah. I hope, inshallah, everybody is doing well. And I pray, inshallah, everybody's Ramadan is going well, and you all are taking advantage of all the wonderful moments that we have started to talk about. And you guys are sharing the knowledge that you are learning, and you guys are doing all the wonderful good deeds in this month of Ramadan. Are you all taking advantage of this month and taking care of doing good deeds, inshallah? Who's working on making your good deeds list longer this month? Yes? Okay, very good. Alhamdulillah. I see many of you are saying yes. Very good, mashallah. Good job. Very good. Alhamdulillah. I'm very happy to hear that. And inshallah, today we will be learning many other things that inshallah you guys can learn to apply to your lives. And also, you can, when you learn this knowledge, inshallah, it's good because you can share it with others. You can even share it with your brothers and sisters or even your parents. And inshallah, you get the rewards for learning about it. So, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Okay, inshallah. So, everybody, remember that we started talking about the topic of Jannah. Who remembers what kind of jewels to Jannah are we going to be looking at? What do we mean when we want to have the jewels of Jannah? What are the jewels? What are the jewels of Jannah? How how can we get these? Very good. Okay, I see Hafsa and Arisha. Very good. Good job, guys. You got it. The good deeds, right? These good deeds are the things that will, these are the jewels that we gather in this world that will, give us a reward in the next, right? Inshallah. These are the good deeds that we will do here that will, show us, Allah show out in the hereafter in Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show us how happy He is with all the good things that we have done, inshallah, right? So we're all working hard to gather these jewels and make sure that our bag is full, right? We want to make sure our bag is full of jewels by the end of this month, and inshallah, so we can continue to add to the bag in the rest of the year, right? Inshallah. Okay, good. So now let's go ahead and begin, inshallah. So we were talking about the month of Ramadan, right? So we are all celebrating, alhamdulillah, I mean that we are doing all the special things that we can do in the month of Ramadan, right? Everybody is either fasting or they're, if you're not fasting yet, then you must be, doing extra prayers, and you must be reading the Quran, doing tasbih, all of these things are, ways that we celebrate the month of Ramadan, right? Because it's a time of happiness for us. We are so happy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this opportunity to, be able to gather all of these wonderful rewards and become closer to Him in this month. So, it's a celebration for us as Muslims, right? I think, and nobody, and if a non-Muslim looks at it, they will look at the fact that, we're not eating, it's so hard for you guys, you're not able to drink. But we know that just because we aren't eating right now, or we aren't drinking anything, or we are, trying to avoid or do our best to avoid any bad deeds, we all know that even if we have to struggle a little bit right now, we know that the reward is going to be huge in the end, right? Inshallah. So how do we know about the month of Ramadan, right? Do you guys know that Ramadan is a pillar of Islam? Do you guys know the pillars of Islam? If you do, okay, let's go ahead and see. What are the pillars of Islam? Okay, who can tell me the first one? Let me the first one, everybody. What is the first pillar of Islam? Go ahead and you can chat it into the chat box, inshallah. Okay, let me give you guys a hand. Okay, there you go, I see it. Shahada. Okay, we all know what is Shahada. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, right? Very good, alhamdulillah. So that is the Shahada, right? That we bear witness there is no God besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is His messenger, right? Very good, alhamdulillah. And next we have Salah, right? Salah, what is that? It is our 5 times daily prayers, right? The 5 times daily prayers, which are Fajr, Zuhr, what else? Asr, very good. Then we have Maghrib, and last one? Last one is Isha, very good, alhamdulillah, good job. Okay, good job, alhamdulillah. So these are the 5 daily prayers that are obligatory. What does obligatory mean? That we have to do it, right? As Muslims, this is a command that we have to do these 5 daily prayers, alhamdulillah. And inshallah, I'm sure all of you do these prayers. Very good. Next, we have zakah. Zakah, who can explain what is zakah? Give me one. Very good. You guys are already answering my question. Very good. Alhamdulillah. Charity. Okay, this is the charity that we have to give at least once a year. When we have a certain amount of money. Okay, very good. Alhamdulillah. And next, what is next? What comes after zakah? Saum. Very good. Very good. Okay, good job, guys. Very good. Alhamdulillah. I'm very proud. You guys you already know these, so that is very good. Alhamdulillah. Saum. What is saum? This is a different word, right? What is saum? Fasting. Very good. Exactly. So fasting in the month of Ramadan. Very good. MashaAllah. Very good. So when we fast in the month of Ramadan, this is a pillar of Islam. And lastly, many of you are already saying Hajj, the pilgrimage to where? Where do we go for Hajj? We go to, okay, yes, Umrah, that's a part of it, but very good. Kaaba, very good. Okay, Makkah, very good. Okay, good job, guys. Very good, mashallah. Good job, alhamdulillah. So now we have these 5 pillars, right? So imagine these 5 pillars are holding the building up, okay? If you have a building that is called, imagine if there's a building with the word Islam on it, right? Like this picture. Now, there's 5 pillars that are holding it up. If one of those pillars were weak, or if one of those pillars started to fall or anything like that, what would happen to the top of the building? Will it stay strong? Will it be, very good? And will it be, standing there and things like that? Will it be shaky and it will fall? Very good. Exactly. It will weaken. Very good. So that's why, everybody, that this is important for us to know that these 5 pillars are not just something for us to, just ignore and, oh, I'll pray when I want to, or I'll fast if I want to, stuff like that. No, all of these 5 things are the main basic things that make up our deen. Okay, our being Muslims, we have to be doing these 5 things. Now, don't worry, if you're saying that maybe you're not fasting yet because maybe you're not old enough, that's okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that, there's an age where He knows when, it's going to be hard for you. So He doesn't ask you to do it when you're little. When you're old enough, then inshallah, Allah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us, right? He would never want anything to be hard for us. We have to remember that all the time. That anything that we do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows if there's any difficulty, He makes it easier for us. Because why? Because why does He make things easier for us? Because He loves us. Very good. Okay, alhamdulillah. So then that's why it's important for us to learn. That's why it's important for us to learn about the 5 pillars. And in this month, in this workshop, inshallah, we will be specifically focusing on the pillar of Sawm, right? The pillar of fasting in Ramadan. Okay. So now let's go ahead and see, what does the word Ramadan mean? Okay, what does the word Ramadan mean? Now, it's important for us to see, why was this name given to this month, right? What does it mean? So the word Ramadan, the root is, it comes from the word Ramad, okay, Ramad. This means to be intensely heated by the sun. Now, why do you guys think that this word would be used to describe the month of Ramadan? Why do you guys think? Why do you guys think that? Anybody have any suggestion? Okay. All right. I see some people are saying they can't hear me. Inshallah. I hope, inshallah, you are able to hear me now. Inshallah. Okay. So, inshallah. So the month of Ramadan. Okay. The root word is Ramad. Okay. That means to be intensely heated by the sun. Now, when you think about something that is intensely heated by the sun, imagine if you had to go outside and it was super hot, right? Like, maybe right now, the temperature is like, imagine if it's almost 100 degrees. Can you go outside and stand outside for like maybe 10 minutes? Can you guys even do that? Or without any AC and stuff like that, would you guys be able to stand outside? Or would you want to run back inside to get to the AC? Yeah. Okay, very good. Yeah, I would want to run inside and get to the AC too. Exactly. Because we can't handle it, right? We can't handle this heat. So what happens when you stay in that heat? You start to, sweat, right? You feel like, people sometimes say, I'm burning hot, right? I'm burning hot. It's so hot outside. It's, burning up, things like that. So when something is burning, it starts coming off, right? It starts coming off. The same thing here is that whenever we are in the month of Ramadan, everything in this month is about burning off our bad deeds and gaining the good deeds. Okay, this month is full of so many opportunities, so many chances, and so many ways for us to gain these good deeds, right? To gain the good deeds and also to burn away the bad ones, right? We all want to work hard to burn away the bad deeds, right? And I don't think there's anybody here who would want to keep those bad deeds, right? Yeah, very good. Exactly. So that's what, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this month, right? This month we can, He made it so easy for us to earn the rewards, that, when your rewards get higher, then obviously the bad deeds are, the comparison between the good and the bad deeds will, get different, right? The good deeds will go up and the bad deeds will go down. Who here wants your good deeds to go up? Write in the chat box. Yes, very good. Very good. Alhamdulillah. Exactly. Inshallah. So we all want to work hard to do this. Now, how are we going to do this? Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it so easy for us. Okay. Let me tell you how easy has He made it for us. There is a hadith by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I am going to just summarize it. That in this month, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has multiplied all the deeds that we do. He has multiplied the reward of every deed that we do. So basically, if there's anything that we do that's optional, like for example, if you guys prayed nafil, right? Nafil prayer is an optional prayer, right? We don't have to do it like a fard. Imagine if you guys did a nafil prayer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the reward of a fulfilling an obligatory prayer. Imagine something, that's mandatory, right? That you have to do it. There's no other option. And then the other thing is an optional thing. Imagine if you do the optional thing and you will get the reward of doing the thing that you had to do. That's a huge deal, right? It's a huge, huge deal. And now on top of that, now what about if you do things that you have to do in the month of Ramadan? If you pray your, Asr prayer, your 4 fard, right? If you pray that, what's going to happen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will multiply that by 70 times. Okay, 70, not 17, 70. Okay, subhanallah. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great. Right, very good. I see, very good, mashallah. I see some of you guys are telling, we're chatting in here, that you knew that this was multiplied by 70. Very good, mashallah. That's really good. So, just think about this, that every good deed that you do, okay, something like, praying the nafil prayer, or even something small like helping your brother and sister, that, sometimes we do things when we're like, your brother or sister asks you to do something and you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. Please, just leave me alone. But think about this, that if I help them now, we should help them throughout the year. But imagine if you help them now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be giving you such a huge reward. Even something small like that, or something big like praying, reading the Quran, being kind to your parents, helping your parents, all of these things, they are very important for us. So what kind of things do we do in the month of Ramadan? What kind of things do we do in the month of Ramadan to make sure that we get the good rewards and the good deeds and take away and burn away the bad deeds? You can see some pictures right here. Very good. Okay, so why is Ramadan so special? I see someone is asking that. Very good, alhamdulillah. So, yeah, Ramadan has so many special things. That's all we're going to be talking about, right? You're right. This is the month of when the Quran was revealed. Inshallah, we will be talking about that. But yeah, there's so many other things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this so special in this month that, I can say it's hard to choose one, right? There's so many, subhanallah, so many good things, that special things about about this month that we should be talking about and paying attention about. Okay, so what kind of good things can we do? We can read the Quran, we can go to the masjid, okay, we can fast, right? That's why we have, what are those things on the left side, on the bottom left side? What's that a picture of? Who knows? What is the thing on the bottom left side? Nobody knows? Oh no. Okay. Very good. Okay. I see Hafsa. Very good. If you can't see the pictures, inshallah, you should be going on to the YouTube link, inshallah. We can try to have it shared, inshallah. You should definitely come onto the YouTube link, inshallah, and see that. Very good. Dates. Okay. The dates on the bottom left side. Okay. If those of you who can't see the pictures, it's fine. Inshallah, I will explain it. I have a picture of dates there, right? And the date fruit. Very good, alhamdulillah. I'm sure all of us love that, right? It's very delicious, and we use that to break our fast, right? And we also do prayers. We make dua in the month of Ramadan. We do these things throughout the whole year, right, guys? It's not like in just a month of Ramadan we do this and that's it. But when we do this in the month of Ramadan, we're extra careful, right? Because we want to make sure that we get the full rewards for it. So we are extra careful to make sure we do these things at a daily basis. We are kind to others. We fast, we read the Quran, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, we make du'as for others and for ourselves. All of these things are things that we do in the month of Ramadan. And that's why it's important, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed so many, He's multiplied all of the good deeds. So that's why it's important for us to make sure that we do all of these. Now, where do we get the no, actually, before we go ahead and talk about that, inshallah, let's just see where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has talked to us about fasting, right? Inshallah, there's an ayah in the Quran. Inshallah, I won't read the whole ayah, but there's just a little bit that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that, "O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that you may become al-muttaqun, the pious." Okay? The pious. Now, what does that mean? Becoming the pious. Can anybody tell me, what do you think pious people are? What does piety mean? Anybody know that? Being pious. Okay, being pious is something, it's a very, very deep topic, and I think that we could spend a very, very long time talking about what is being, someone who is being pious. Okay, very good. I see some people are writing, having gratitude, being patient, being humble, honest. Yeah, okay, all of these things, I would say all of these things describe someone who is pious. Okay, very good. Alhamdulillah. So, but I'm going to talk about it just a little briefly, just so that I can give you an idea of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. That being someone who does the fasting, okay, you become someone who is pious. Okay, be part of the people who are pious. Being pious means that it's, you are becoming someone who has taqwa. Okay, taqwa is, the fear of, displeasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's, having this protection on yourself, that you don't want to do anything that will make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upset. Okay, so when you are careful of all of, being of someone, when you're careful of this, when you're careful of the fact that you don't want to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upset, you don't want to do anything that will, be a negative thing, then when you have this in your mind, naturally you will be humble, you will be honest, you will be kind, you will be gentle, all of these things that you guys are writing. Very good. So all of these things, I would say all the words that you guys are writing, very good. Okay, alhamdulillah, I'm glad you guys know the concept that all of these things would describe someone who is pious. Okay, someone who has the fear of displeasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so now that's why, now how does fasting relate to being pious? Okay, how does fasting relate to being pious? Didn't we always, we usually hear that fasting is about giving up eating and drinking between that fasting is just giving up eating and drinking between Fajr and Maghrib, right? We normally, if someone came to ask you and they said, what does fasting mean? You mostly you would just say that, right? Nobody would say that we try to be good people. I mean, I'm sure many of you would say that, but the first answer that we say is I give up eating or drinking, right? So I see someone said that they can't hear me on YouTube. Inshallah, you can maybe try logging off and coming back on again, inshallah, maybe on the link, inshallah, because I see that everybody else is able to hear, inshallah. So maybe you can try that. Okay. So now, so where do we learn how to be a pious person? How do we work towards that? Being a pious person is, I would say, is the end goal. Like that's a very major label to have. So how do we work towards that? Where do we how can we learn about these things? How do we get there? How do we learn? Very good. Okay. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the one that we have to follow to know how do we become a good pious person, right? Everybody agrees that, inshallah. So that's what we have to know. How do we know that? Where do we get this? Where do we get to this level? Is by following his example. We follow his examples through hadith, and we follow his sallallahu alaihi wasallam examples through the sunnah. Okay. Now, speaking of the hadith, we know that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us that there is a hadith in which he says, it's narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, fasting is a shield. So the fasting person should avoid obscene speech and should not behave foolishly and ignorantly. And if somebody fights with him or insults him, he should tell him twice, I am fasting. Okay? So, inshallah, I hope everybody said sallallahu alaihi wasallam after the name of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So now, this hadith tells us that fasting is not just about eating and drinking, right? It's so much more than that. It's about, controlling ourselves and improving ourselves and following the footsteps of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to, get to the point of making Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy, right? Very good. So inshallah, having fasting as a shield, it's, that should tell you that when you're fasting, you're under a protection. Okay, you're under a protection, and no, there should not be anything harmful going out towards other people. You should be, that shield is not just for yourself, it's for the other person too, I would say, that you're protecting others from those bad things that you could say, right? And why are you controlling this? For the sake of, why are you going to control yourself from saying all of these bad things? We're doing it for the sake of Allah, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, very good, will be giving you the rewards for that, and so many rewards for that. Just controlling yourself in outside of Ramadan is a huge, like a rewarding thing. Just imagine doing it in Ramadan. Like I'm gonna, you guys might hear me saying this many times, because it's a very important thing for us to understand that doing things, the good deeds in Ramadan is, so much better. And that's why we should be extra careful to do it. And on the other hand, we should be extra careful to avoid doing the bad deeds. Right, guys? Inshallah. Very good. Alhamdulillah. So, so then, inshallah, now we have to, it's important for us. Alhamdulillah, we all know the basics about fasting, avoiding food and drink and things like that. Now we have to learn about how do we, become better people. How do we become better people to, improve ourselves, not only in this month, but also throughout the year. So where can we learn how to follow the best ikhlaq and to be the best Muslims? Where can we learn this? Who do we have to look, whose life should we check? Whose life should we check? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Very good. Alhamdulillah. Exactly. So the way to learn these things about how to become better Muslims and have the best ikhlaq is to follow the Sunnah. So inshallah, starting from today, inshallah, we will be learning different types of sunnah, some related to the month of Ramadan and some related to, just in general about our lives that we can apply not only in the in the month of Ramadan, but also throughout the year. So the first thing, following the sunnah is important for us, right? Because like we said last time, that the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the best examples of human beings. And out of all the prophets, we follow the best of all creation, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when we have his life in front of us, why has his life been so, noted with detail and with so much, interest? Because when we follow his life, he is, the best, right? And we can, if we follow his life, it's, exactly, yeah, exactly. His life has been noted because, so in order to teach us. He is a model for us. Very good. Good job. I see Sharik and Ibrahim, I think that's the name. So these things that we see in the Sunnah, these wonderful actions, these wonderful sayings that we hear in the Hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we have these as a guidance along with the Quran, we will inshallah work towards becoming those people who are part of those that who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy with, and part of the people who inshallah will be considered pious. Inshallah, I apologize, I am over a few minutes. Inshallah, I will just wrap up with this slide and then inshallah we will be good to go, okay? So let's just go ahead and look at the sunnah that I have on this slide, inshallah, that following the sunnah. Now, two important sunnahs that we can apply in this month and also in outside of, and throughout the year is meeting your brother or sister, of course, with a smile. Okay, this can be between the boys, brothers, who are actual brothers or brothers in Islam, and then with the girls between your sisters in real life or sisters in Islam. So having a smile on your face for everybody, it's a sunnah. Okay, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never used to be frowning at others. He never had to had those had a harsh expression. He was always kind. Okay, he was always kind to even people who were harsh to him. That having that kindness, imagine that we don't have to deal with I would say even a quarter or a half of anything that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the difficulties that he faced because of the way people treated him, the people that were not good. So if he still was able to keep a smile, then why should we? What excuse do we have for not being able to keep the smile on our face, right? He was always very patient. He was always very kind. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that kindness is a mark of faith, and whoever is not kind has no faith. Okay, so something very, very important: being kind to others, whether it's kindness to your parents, kindness to people who are your age, people younger than you, your friends, everybody. Okay, everybody. Even being kind to non-Muslims. Obviously we want to do our best so that we keep very good company, people who are Muslims who follow the faith. But of course, living over here, we have to interact with others who are not Muslims, right? So when we show them kindness, maybe you will inspire them to learn more about Islam, right? Why are, maybe they'll start thinking, every Muslim person that I meet is so happy and so friendly and so kind. Why is it that they're never, they never get upset or they lose their patience? So somebody can even be interested in, learning about Islam, and, you will get the reward for that. So very good. So alhamdulillah. So make sure that you guys follow the sunnah of always being kind to others and always greeting everyone with a smile. Now, something very specific to the month of Ramadan. Now, I know that those of you who are fasting, or maybe even if you're not fasting, you guys, you might still wake up for suhoor. Now, I know it's so difficult to wake up in the morning, right? Because you're sleepy and you stayed up late, and maybe you were praying tarawih and you stayed up late doing that. I know it gets really hard to wake up for suhoor sometimes because you're too sleepy and stuff like that. But now, when you look at this hadith that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to do suhoor, because in suhoor there is blessings. Okay, he always used to do suhoor in the month of Ramadan. He used to make sure that he would wake up. Even if you guys can't eat a big meal, maybe, and even if you're not fasting, okay, you can inshallah still try. You can still join your family for the suhoor. Help your, maybe try to wake up a few minutes early, help your mom and your dad put the stuff on the table, and if you don't feel like eating that much, maybe you can just eat, drink a glass of milk, eat some dates, things like that. So all of these things, it's a matter of making sure that you're following the sunnah. Even the fact that you're getting up, all those minutes that you're going to spend awake, and then inshallah you're going to pray fajr, inshallah after that, all of those minutes that you're spending awake, just imagine how much rewards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be blessing you with during that time, inshallah. Okay, so inshallah, I would like all of you to work hard on these. I would, inshallah, next on Sunday, inshallah, I'm going to ask how many of you woke up for suhoor, okay? Yeah, okay, so I see someone is asking if you keep a fast without waking up. It counts, definitely, but we want to make sure that we actually do wake up, right? First of all, it's a sunnah, and second of all, it's good because you get some, energy inside. Are all of the things related to sunnah, and all of these things related to, the sunnah or the hadith. There's always a, not only is there a Islamic benefit, meaning that you get the rewards for it, but there's also a benefit for us for our, our bodies and for our life. Okay, so inshallah, we want to try hard. Maybe if you have difficulty waking up in the morning, ask your parents to wake you up, and inshallah, I'm sure they will, inshallah. Okay. So, inshallah, I would like to thank everybody. Jazakallahu khairan for coming. And inshallah, I hope all of you enjoyed the sessions today. And inshallah, I hope you all learned a lot of good things. And inshallah, we will meet again next Sunday. Inshallah, same time. And we're looking forward to seeing you then. Make sure you guys, remember each other in your du'as. Make sure you make du'as for everybody, all the Muslims. And inshallah, take advantage of this next the next week. Take advantage by doing these few sunnahs that we talked about today. Inshallah, next Sunday we will learn some new sunnahs. And then inshallah we'll apply those to our lives as well. Okay? Inshallah. Jazakallahu khairan, everyone, for coming, and inshallah we will meet next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.